I almost drove into oncoming traffic that day, not because I wanted to die, but because for a split second, dying felt less confusing than living this way. You know when you're driving, but you have no idea where you're headed? When the light turns green, but you still can't find the will to press the gas? That's exactly how I felt, sitting in my car, alone, completely frozen, engine running, but inside my soul was completely shut down. At that moment, all I could think was, I'm not going anywhere. I'm only moving because I have to. I stayed there for over 40 minutes, staring blankly at the road, my hands gripping the wheel. People passed by, the world kept spinning, and yet there I was, directionless, hopeless, too afraid to return home and face the deafening silence. It was like life suddenly lost all meaning, as if everything had turned into automatic motions. Wake up, work, pretend, sleep, repeat. Every day felt exactly the same, blending into a blur where I couldn't even tell when one ended and another began. Conversations became superficial exchanges. Laughter felt rehearsed, and each step forward seemed heavier than the last. But the worst part wasn't feeling lost. It was pretending I knew exactly where I was headed. It was forcing smiles, giving advice, acting strong and self-aware, while deep down I felt like a complete imposter. There was an invisible weight pressing down on me, a heaviness I couldn't shake. Each morning, the thought of facing another day of this relentless emptiness felt overwhelming. Every evening, the idea of returning home to nothing but silence made my stomach churn. And honestly, it wasn't the first time. It was just another episode of a familiar series, a series called You Have No Idea What You're Doing with Your Life. And yet, despite feeling utterly lost, deep inside there was a whisper, a tiny, stubborn voice telling me that maybe, just maybe, acknowledging this pain was the first step toward finding my way back. After that day in the car, I tried fixing everything with brute force. I chased routines, discipline, books, motivational videos. I created spreadsheets, downloaded habit tracking apps, set goals for reading, hydration, waking up early. And for a while, I managed to fool my mind. There were days when I genuinely felt unstoppable, like Superman. But it was all just another form of escape, another distraction from the truth that screamed loudest in the quiet moments. You're still completely lost. I read performance books while a part of me was still desperately searching for a purpose. I'd wake up at 5 a.m., convincing myself I had control, that I was finally getting my life together. But inside, everything stayed dark and uncertain. The more I pushed myself to fix my life, the more exhausted and hopeless I became. Because checking off habit boxes on an app doesn't mean a thing if you can't bear your own company. And that's when the guilt comes rushing in. Because you know your potential. You know you've done better before. You know there are people who look up to you, who admire your strength and discipline. But only you know the crushing weight you carry inside. Only you understand the deep frustration of looking at your own life and wondering, is this really all there is? I'm 30 years old and I still don't know who I am? And that's when the cycle kicks back in. You push harder, pretend longer, feel more frustration, and blame yourself more harshly. You promise yourself this time it'll be different. But inevitably, you return to the same place. A person who is clearly lost but incredibly skilled at hiding it from everyone around. The truth is, I knew something had to change. But how do you fix something when you don't even know what's broken? I found myself avoiding mirrors, avoiding quiet moments, filling every second of silence with noise and distractions, because facing the silence meant confronting myself. It meant admitting I didn't have the answers. It meant accepting I had built a life that looked great from the outside, but felt empty on the inside. I realized I couldn't keep running forever. At some point, I would have to stop and face the reality that no amount of planning, productivity, or forced positivity could fill the emptiness inside. Maybe, just maybe, the real strength wasn't in pretending I had it all figured out, but in accepting that I didn't and starting the journey from there. Do you know when it really hit me? The truth struck me like a punch right in the chest. And it wasn't while listening to some success podcast, nor reading yet another self-help chapter on a growth mindset. It was in a whispered, nearly choking prayer in the dark solitude of my room, hidden from everyone. All I remember saying repeatedly was, "God, I don't even know who I am anymore." In that instant, reality hit me so hard I felt completely shattered, because I realized the issue was never a lack of direction. It was the overflow of lies. Lies I told myself every single day. Lies I posted with filters on social media. Lies I repeated in front of others to appear strong and composed. I'm just going through a phase. It's just a lack of focus. Once I get my routine right, everything will fall into place. But it never did, and each failed attempt only deepened the void within me, because it wasn't my routine that was broken, it was my identity. I didn't know myself. Worse yet, I was actively avoiding knowing myself, because deep down I knew that once I truly looked inward, I'd find someone wounded, insecure, filled with pride, and paralyzed by fear. And nobody willingly faces that. It's far easier to distract yourself with productivity, to claim you've got it all under control, to blame it on lack of motivation, than to admit your soul is exhausted. I realized my relentless search for direction was just a disguise for a far deeper fear. The fear of acknowledging that everything I'd built until then was based on running away. Running from myself, running from pain, running from the truth. And when the truth finally catches up, it doesn't politely ask if you're ready. It simply bursts in and tears down everything you've been desperately holding together. That night, after that whispered prayer in the darkness, I understood there was nowhere left to run. I was exhausted by myself. Exhausted from pretending I was fine, from appearing strong, from being just another outwardly functional person who was quietly collapsing inside. The truth is, I'd known something was off for a very long time, but I refused to stop, because stopping meant facing reality. Facing reality meant feeling, and feeling for me at that stage felt synonymous with falling apart completely. But that night, I let myself fall. I closed my bedroom door, switched off my phone, sat on the cold floor against the wall, and wrote on a random piece of paper, "What am I avoiding?" The first answer took time, but once it came, everything spilled out. I'm scared of myself. I envy my friends. I hate the life I've built. I sabotage myself because deep down, I don't think I deserve success. It felt like vomiting years of hidden truths. I wrote for hours, tears streaming, body trembling, an overwhelming blend of anger, shame, relief, and liberation. In the middle of that chaos, one thing became crystal clear. I didn't need more goals. I needed a fresh start. Raw, messy, honest. My turning point wasn't heroic or cinematic. It was brutal, starkly real. It was admitting that I was broken and deciding right there amidst the pain that I wasn't going to live in illusion anymore. If I had to rebuild myself, it would start from the raw remains of who I truly was, not from the fictional character I'd created just to survive. What saved me wasn't more effort, it was more truth. Because the pain of feeling lost isn't about choosing the right path. It's about the emptiness that follows you down every road you take. If you don't face this emptiness head on, you can change cities, jobs, relationships, religions, and yet everything will still hurt just the same. The real solution begins with something nobody teaches you. You must destroy the illusion that success will fill the void inside you. The illusion that discipline alone can heal an empty soul. The illusion that what you need is simply more focus, when in reality, all you truly need is to stop running. While I was busy searching for motivation, God wanted my surrender. While I was desperately asking for direction, He sought my repentance. And it was there, in my brokenness, vulnerability, face down on the floor, that I finally understood what could genuinely lift me from the depths. The courage to face the very things I'd been running from my entire life. So here's the real path. Not one meant to impress anyone, but one built for true reconstruction. Step 1, face what you've hidden. Write, scream, pray, cry, spill it all out. Bring into the light every shadow that's controlled you in the dark. Pornography, pride, bitterness, comparison, self-sabotage. Lay everything bare. God can only heal what you have the courage to expose. Step 2, Silence the distractions, disconnect, be alone, endure the discomfort. Let it hurt, because it's only in silence that heaven truly speaks. And the words you'll hear can't reach you if you keep filling your emptiness with constant noise and shallow comforts. Step 3, obey. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Simply obey the first truth you know to be real, even if it feels small, even if it hurts, because obedience amidst the chaos is the seed of true rebuilding. And here's the essential key. You don't need more direction. You need an altar, a place where your ego finally dies, and your true self, the authentic man inside, can finally be born again. If you've made it this far, it's because on some level, this pain resonates deeply within you. And I want to tell you something with all the honesty I can muster. You are not alone. I know exactly how it feels to be completely broken inside while smiling on the outside, to feel empty even after doing everything right, to wish you could disappear but still have to keep moving forward. Yet there is something stronger than your confusion, something deeper than this exhaustion, and it begins when you stop trying merely to improve and start confronting the truth head-on. So if this video spoke to you, like it, comment below what hit you the hardest. Expose yourself, because as long as you hide, the enemy still holds control. Subscribe to this channel if you want to continue hearing truths like this. There's no easy formula here. There's confrontation, there's war, there's the forge. With each video, we dive deeper into what men avoid most. With every word, we remind ourselves who we were truly created to be. Because in the end, you don't need more motivation. You need redemption. And here at The Forge, we don't sell ease or shortcuts. We offer fire. So stand up, face what's breaking you, because it's going to get messy before it gets beautiful, but it will be worth it.